Hello everyone and welcome to the template filters coding example lecture. In this lecture, we are going to be talking you through the basics of and using an actual template filter and also how you can create your own template filter if you ever feel you have need to. So just I'm going to this editor and alright, so I will working with the learning underscore template project that we have been working through the entire section of this course, Django level 4. What we are going to be doing is affecting the next index.html page to actually inject the variables and perform the template filters. But in order to do that, we need some sort of context dictionary to actually pass through this index view. So we'll come over to views.py under basic app and use under index this. What we are going to do is create basic context dictionary. So we'll say context dictionary and we will have a couple of keys in here. We'll say some text and this will be hello world, okay, and then we also say number. That's it. So this will be something like let's just make it 100 and we are going to pass that as a context dictionary here. Okay, so save that and then to make sure it works on the index page, let's just inject some those two variables themselves. So remember the first one was just called text and then the second one was just called numbers or numbers. Let me make sure, okay. So we'll save that and let's actually run over server, our actual server. So python manage.py run server and make sure that actually they are on the index page. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and bring it to on my browser and I can see it right now. Hello world and this is index.page showing. So this is actually quite small. So let's enlarge it, bring that away and let's put this under an h1 tag. So I'm going to actually say welcome to index, comment that out and let's make an h1 tag that this will go into. So we'll put the text in an h1 tag that way we can just clearly see. I don't have to awkwardly zoom in that for copy that and paste that in and save that. So I am refreshing my page and now I see welcome to index hello world 100. So what is typical filter actually look like? Well, the majority of them actually usually don't take parameters or additional arguments. They are usually based off of some sort of Python method that you would call on that basic data type. So if you ever think there is a Python method I would like to do on the string, definitely look up the filter reference, at least the built-in ones. At it's almost 100% sure to actually be there already implemented for you. So let's do that with the hello world. The text, let's say I wanted to uppercase all the text. Well, you could use the upper parenthesis on a Python string and it's really no different over here. You just say text the pipe operator and then pass in the name of whatever the filter you are using is. And in this case it's upper and usually syntax wise they are both going to be touching that pipe operator, so you will see it like that without any space. Okay, so let's save that and bring in our page refreshed. So refresh the page coming in and now I can see hello world, it's all in uppercase now. Same with number, it's also very simple process. Let's show you an example of one that would have an additional argument. For instance, one of the most simple one is just adding a number. So we can say number, the pipe operator, and add is the name of that actual filter. Then we say colon and then a string. You can pass in whatever you want to add. So in this case, let's add the number 99 to it just to take it really obvious. So you will save that, refresh our page and bring it back in. And here, if I bring it back in, I can see it's 199 after the refresh. Now let's talk about how you can create your own custom filters. Usually you will be able to find your own filter or the built-in filters to be more than enough. And sometimes you will even be doing a lot of this logic on the back and then some other Python script. But let's say you really need to do it with a template and you need your own filters. Well, it's absolutely no problem. Django can certainly handle that. So what you need to do is create a function that will work with that filter. In order to set this all up, we have to follow a convention as far as where to actually place our custom templates filter. And what you end up doing is inside your application at the same level of models and views. So essentially, what you are going to do is underneath that application, you will create a new folder or a new directory and you will call it template text. And then inside of this, you are going to make sure to create a new file and you will call it underscore underscore uh, int init underscore underscore init underscore underscore dot py. And that is file is just going to be totally empty. Basically what this file says, it is tells Python to treat this as a module. That way it can call it and load it in. What you are going to be doing usually is creating a new file, and then this is where you are going to actually put in your custom templates. So we can say something like my underscore extras dot py. And now let's show you how you can actually create your own filters, and you can always reference the documentation. Just look up Django custom template text and this would all be in there. So we need doing is first you need to actually register all of this. So you will say from Django import and it's going to be template, and then you create an object called register and set it equal to template dot, and it's a library, and actually this should be capital L. Okay, capital L library. Okay, so there we go. So it's register equals templates library, and then what you are doing to do is write a function that will be your custom template filter. So you can say define def, and let's follow the one that in the document is example such as cut, and this is one that takes in an actual value. So that's whatever the variable or value from your context dictionary are going to pass, and then any additional argument. So we'll just call that arg argument, and we'll say that this function does uh, and I mean we'll say that this function does, it's always good to give it a doc string. We'll say this cuts out and all values of argument arg. So all value of arg from the string, and then what we are going to do is we'll say return and we'll grab that value. We are going to assume it's a string. Again, you are going have to be careful with your kind of assumptions here, and then we will say argument, and then that so basically you can call the replace method of Python string and then pass in what you are looking for and then what you want to replace it with. This is a really common Python string operation, so we are just kind of putting this whole thing and wrapping it into this nice little custom filter called cut. And then what we need to do is register this. So what we do is over here we can say register uh, dot filter, and I pass in as a string. So what I actually want to call this filter. So when I call it in my custom filter template tag, we'll just call it cut, and then you have to actually pass in the function itself. You just create it, which in this case is also cut. So the first one is going to be the string that you call the function when you are using a template tag. The second one is the function itself. So it is not a string, just a direct call to this function. So that's the very basics, and it's kind of in the order that you are thinking of. So from Django import template register, then you create whatever custom template filter, and then here it is. So let's actually try this out. Now it's coming back to our index HTML page. Instead of saying text upper, or we are going to do is this. So we'll just say it's and then we are going to say cut, and then let's cut out the term hello. So I will save this, and let's bring back in our project over here, and if I refresh this, note it cut off hello. So that was our own custom filter cut, and it cuts out anything that was placed as a parameter. And that's the very basics of how you can create your own custom filter. Now, as a quick note, there is another way to register the filter itself. So if we come back here under a template tags in it, and then my extras we registered using this. Okay, so registered equals template library. That is one way to do it, but you can also do it with decorators and it looks a little cleaner. So remember back when we were introducing decorators in the Python level 2 section of this course. So I mentioned that later on in Django I would talk about decorators and then advise you to go back. So this is that time. If you have not learned about decorators yet, now is the time to go to the decorator lecture and you can go through that. It's a little complicated, but it will make a lot more sense when you actually see it here. So I am actually going to comment this out, this register that filter, since I am passing in essentially what is a function into another function call, and I will do this. We can say at register that filter. Okay, and then give it the name equal to cut. Save this, and now what we are going to do is to make sure this all worked is come back to index, and instead of cutting, so hello, I am going to cut world. Save that as well, and then bring in an actual browser. Refresh this, and here I see just hello. Okay, so world got cut out, and that's how you can use decorator to actually register these custom filters. And this looks kind of a lot nicer and a lot clearer, especially if you already know decorator. All right, so that's it for this templates. There is still a lot more you can explore in the documentation, but this would be enough for you to create basically any normal website that you want to work with. Okay, thank you for watching.